turn to my left, and I see one of my favorite people on planet Earth. We'll be spending an absurd amount of time on live television together on Sunday, an 8.5-hour edition of NFL Game Day Morning at 9 Eastern Time. Good to see Hall of Famer Kurt Warner. How are you, sir?
I'm great, man. How are you?
When you see this trophy between us, what do you think? This baby that you see a reflection in right now.
I would like one more chance to win one of those is what I think.
Is that really?
I mean, every year. I mean, you don't miss a lot of parts of the game, and we cover it. I mean, we do a lot of things. I go to a lot of the games, but every year, Super Bowl, when we step onto that field on Sunday morning, that's the one thing I think. I just want to compete for one more opportunity to win that thing. I mean, that's what it's all about, and you even feel it. Even though I'm covering it now, I've been out of the game for 8 years, that's still what I think every time I step on the field, Super Bowl Sunday.
8 years, huh?
8 years now, yeah.
We've been working together 8 years?
Yeah, we've been together. Well, I wasn't working with you. I wasn't quite on your level right at the beginning, so maybe about 6 years with you. Took me a couple years to work my way up, but I made it.
Do you ever dream of it still? Do you ever dream of it and wake up? That's right, I'm not playing anymore. Does that ever happen? No? Okay.
No, it doesn't. I mean, but there are times where I go out and throw it in the backyard with my kids, and I think I want to do this. I just want somebody. I want somebody to open up camp for me so I can just do another 7-on-7 and just see if I could still do it one more time, and then maybe consider a comeback at. I mean, Brady's doing it at 40. I'd be 47.
That's
48.
right. That's right.
Make some.
Why not?
Some stories.
Well, I go in my backyard.
It's a great idea.
I go in my backyard.
Is it? It's a great idea.
Yeah. What? Kurt, come back.
Right.
Maybe you could play.
No, we got to start with just a 7-on-7.
You can play
so
Arena
I can see
League
if I still
again.
got
You can
it.
play Arena.
It's a hard.
XFL.
Yeah, XFL.
Is that the new opportunity?
Yeah. Do you have a good relationship with Vince McMahon, right?
Oh,
You
yeah,
and
we're
Vince?
close.
So I can tweet this out? Just Kurt
don't
Warner
do that.
planning XFL comeback.
This is a horrible idea. It's a horrible idea. But actually, no, tweet that out.
Okay, great.
And put the fire emojis and all that
By
stuff.
the way, I'm totally doing it.
Please do that. See how that
Breaking
works.
news.
As you know, I go in the backyard, throw it around with my kids.
You do?
Hoping.
I thought that was your nanny. No, that's you? Come on.
Now-
have you shared that story on air?
Chris, have you heard this story?
Oh, I've heard this story.
Come on, Rich,
You
share the
need to
story.
tell it.
So
It's fantastic.
I throw it
It's one of my
around
favorite
with
moments.
my boys, Xander and Cooper. Throw it around there. Now Taylor, my daughter, likes to be involved in this, throwing it around, and I throw it around, and I'm.
Well, hold on. We got to set this up.
I'm setting the scene. No,
Are you setting it
I have
way-
no. I'm giving
way
the whole.
back?
I'm going to give you the whole
You're going
setup.
way back.
Kurt.
All right.
Excuse me, sir.
Good. I'm sorry.
So I tell him how to grip the football and put your fingers on, and you know how to hold it with your fingers on the strings, but towards the back of the ball, because I have heard it from you.
Okay.
Okay. I pick up what you put down, essentially,
that.
Kurt.
I like that.
So we go in the backyard and we're winging it around. It's great. One day, Cooper comes during, I think it was Championship Sunday last year, 2 years ago, whatever. And he's throwing it around in studio in the commercial break, and he's doing it right in front of all the guys sitting on the Game Day Morning set while I'm on a different part of the set getting ready to do an on-camera lead-in. And this was awesome. My proud moment. Here's my son. Good spiral too, right?
It looked good. That's why I had to ask him.
See, so you went ahead and asked him. Go ahead. You asked him.
I went and asked him. I said, "Oh, where did you learn to throw it?" Because I mean, you know, Rich's chest was getting big because
beaming.
It goes way back to a few years ago when we did the. You remember the dunk takes? Exactly. And Rich missed by 20 feet. And so we've been giving him crap ever since. So, yeah, when his son comes in and he's winging around, I'm like, wow. I mean, Rich must be getting better. He must be teaching his kids. So I asked him, where did you learn to throw it like that? And without hesitation, his response was, what, Rich?
My nanny, Katie.
My nanny, Katie. I will never forget that. That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
So, of course, I'm like, no! No!
She must throw a pretty good spiral.
At any rate, Kurt Warner, how do you see this game playing out? First blush. Give me what I'm going to be hearing on the Thursday meeting for our Sunday show. What do you got for me,
You know
Kurt?
me. I could talk about this game and all the ins and outs forever. But I tell you what, I love the matchup. I know we got this whole underdog thing going with the Eagles. I really believe the Eagles have a chance. I think there's certain matchups that play to their favor in this game.
Like what?
Well, I mean, I think the fact that the Patriots play a lot of man-to-man coverage, and I know a lot of people say, well, they change it up all the time, but if you watch them all year long, They weren't real good at the beginning of the year, and they've really settled in on playing a lot of man coverage. I think there's some great matchups on the outside for the Eagles. Nick Foles having to read coverages. If you know you're going to get man coverage a lot, it keeps things a lot simpler. I love the front five guys of the Eagles against the front seven of the Patriots. That are not great at getting pressure on the quarterback. So those are things that I like. I mean, we always talk about matchups defensively against Brady. Got to be good up the middle. And that's where the Eagles are really good defensive-wise, is up the middle. Now, there's some holes on the back end, so I feel like Tom Brady's going to have some success as well. But I just think there's some good matchups in this game that play to the fact that this could be a really, really good football game, and maybe come down to Nick Foles having to make those plays that Tom Brady usually makes at those moments.
Well, what would you, Kurt Warner, give advice to Nick Foles? What pieces of advice would you give to this kid who is a chance to complete a magic carpet ride in the biggest spot?
Wouldn't that be crazy? I mean, it's crazy for him. I think the advice I would give him is you have to be yourself in these moments. And what does that mean? It's kind of twofold. You have to come out and be aggressive and attack early in this game. And, you have to feel like you can make all the plays. You can't hesitate, because those who hesitate are lost. And, the flip side of that is you can't be so worried about making the mistake that's going to lose the Super Bowl that you make the mistake that's going to lose the Super Bowl. And I think it's so easy to get in these moments and kind of feel it out and play not to make that mistake. And by that point, Tom Brady is going to be in a position to take this thing from you. So you have to come out and let the game come to you. Don't try to do too much. Don't do too little. But stay aggressive early in this game and play the way. I mean, the thing about Nick Foles is you look back, he's been really good at taking care of the football. He's been really good at making good decisions. Now just add in those big play decisions that you made last week or in the championship game, and I think you've got a real chance to compete in this one.
Who's your X factor?
Who's my X factor?
By the way, as you know, Mariucci has a very difficult time. His X factors are named
Tom Brady.
Gronkowski.
Yeah.
We had to, as a matter of fact, literally put a definition of X factor on the screen during our championship Sunday game day morning that I think just ended 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. And he still read it wrong.
So who's somebody that we should look out for?
I'm going to say Corey Clemens. That's
what did I say yesterday?
That's who I'm looking at.
What Rich
he made some huge plays. He's a guy that can get outside, and if you watch where the Patriots have struggled, their linebackers in coverage.
Yes.
And the crazy thing is they don't use him as much because they have Ajayi and Blunt, but but I just think if you can find a way to mix him in there, and you go back to the Miami game, they beat him down there, pressure up the middle, and then they use Kenyon Drake on the edges and made big plays with him in the passing game as well as the run game. He's a guy that I think you should look for.
Do you know who told me that Corey Clemens would be a great X factor? My nanny, Katie.
Holy cow, we need to get her on the show. We need to find a way to get her on the show. She can wing it around, she can run a demo, and then we can put her in for the X Factor second.
She's coming for Warner's Corner next.
We gotta see what her knowledge is beyond that. But she can definitely run a demo if she can throw spirals like that.
Now we're going to take a break, and during the television-only segment, we're going to bring JB Smoove out here. Now, the last time you guys were hooked up together,
I was asking, where's the field at? I'm thinking we ought to go stop traffic out front here in the road like we did when we were growing up.
But then you realize you're a dome quarterback and you're not going out.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. That's not as bad as that your kids are taught by your nanny, but okay. That was a good shot.
Oh, it's on. It's on and cracking. With JB Smoove. Again, we're going to finish up the show with Kurt and JB, as JB has the list of questions that he did not ask, wound up on the cutting room floor of last night's media session on behalf of the Rich Eisen Show. That's next here from Minneapolis. All right, sort of a reunion here from our Houston Super Bowl segment.
Look at this.
Where JB Smoove and Kurt Warner were a receiver-quarterback tandem. Aeneas Williams wearing his Hall of Fame gold jacket.
Yeah.
On defense.
That didn't work out so well for us.
I blame it on myself. I went out there.
I'm going to blame it on you,
I
too.
had boots, cowboy boots on. He had on sneakers, so he had more grip.
Yeah, well, you couldn't get loose, and then it seems like Kurt, you weren't expecting him to curl back
no,
here.
it was supposed to be a push to the corner, and
I messed it up. Yeah. But we did talk about this chemistry thing. We just talked about that last segment. Chemistry
Chemistry's everything, right? We need a little more time together.
To develop,
right? Especially against a Hall of Fame DB. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
Right, exactly. So I mean, I think
I'm only on the ballot. He's already in.
Right.
I'm on the ballot.
And he was about to get in, although he didn't know at the time. So you're taking the blame? It was a poor route
It was my
run?
bad. No, I should have went in motion. I should have got more. And I had cowboy boots
so
on, man.
Impress me.
Had cowboy boots on.
No, it doesn't.
with you.
Isn't it 5 yards after contact?
All
there,
right, just
too?
break to the outside. You had him. You had him.
It was heavy pass interference now. Don't get me wrong.
You were leaning. You had him perfect if you would have just
did
cut
have
back to the corner.
I should have cut to the corner.
Yeah. Yeah.
The route wasn't the best. It was not the best.
You don't hardly ever hear receivers say it's their fault.
Rich Eisen. You're listening to The Rich Eisen Show.
Yes, we were in the home of the big game and the home of MyPillow as well. We're going to see the folks of MyPillow on Friday's show. They're going to stop by, and we've been talking about MyPillow for well over a couple of years now. The buy one, get one free tab still there for the clicking at MyPillow.com. You put in my promo code of Rich. You buy one MyPillow premium pillow. You get the second one absolutely free with a 10-year warranty and 60-day money-back guarantee. Do it right now. I promise you, MyPillow will become your pillow. Kurt Warner and JB Smoove. Kurt finishing up the show. JB's been with us all 3 hours after last night.
Always fun.
The media night. Go to our app to see JB's work. We'll be tweeting it out as well at Rich Eisen Show. Kurt, you and I are going to be working for 8.5 hours on Sunday game day.
8.5 hours.
Do you know where Steve Mariucci and Michael Irvin are right now?
I have a feeling that are they fishing?
They are shooting an ice fishing piece together right now.
I love it. Is Irvin his suit from last night?
That'd be great.
To keep him warm? I mean, what first suit that he had on?
What was the stupidest question you were asked at Media Day when you were up on a podium? Do you remember?
You know, I think just the most off-the-wall one was if I was a cartoon character, who would I be?
And?
Well, and I said Bugs Bunny because he's kind of the head of the Looney Tunes and, head of the group. And so I went with Bugs Bunny, yeah.
All right. What cartoon would you be, JB?
Scooby-Doo, of course.
Why of course? I mean, what's the of course?
For some reason, that dog stands up on its hind legs and have the same kind of face,
Okay.
Very dog-like.
And you?
What would I be?
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo.
I'd be
Scrappy-Doo.
No, I wouldn't Scrappy-Doo. Come on. What cartoon character? I'd be Superman.
What?
I'd be Superman. Man of Steel. Man of
Where
Steel.
did that come from?
Yeah.
What would make you think that?
Why not?
Why not?
If not me, who
you
else?
had the mic and they asked you the question.
Yeah,
You can be Superman.
Rich, you remind me of Superman.
Who should I be?
He does remind you of Superman?
He reminds me.
What
Rich,
part?
you remind me of Superman.
No, they're both. I'm +1 in the commissioner's suite for the Super Bowl, so they're trying to curry favor.
I see.
I mean,
I see how.
Trying to
Any
curry
cartoon character that you pick is the right
Thank
answer.
you.
That's the right one.
I have a list of questions that did not make your cut, JB Smith.
They all don't make it.
Do you want me to?
Run out of time.
Do you want me to go through it? Or?
Sure, you can.
Okay.
Read 'em.
For Halapuli Vati Vaitai.
Okay.
Are you sure you don't have your last name first and your first name last?
This is getting clarity.
Clarity's always good.
For LeGarrette Blunt, you played with the Pats. They know you over there. If you guys are down by a lot at halftime, would you try to sneak back into the Pats locker room and hope nobody notices?
Why not, man? You're already there. You got a few friends still on the team, right?
It's like a Costanza moment, right?
Genius move.
Danny Amendola. You asked this one. Do you remember this? Which one you were going to ask him?
I want you to say it.
Are you better now or when you were Wes Welker or Julian Edelman?
Same prototype guy, man. Same guy. In the
You're
slot.
right.
Come on, man. This is more position than it is.
What's a gut check versus a belly check? What is that?
Okay. First half, Belichick, this genius of a coach, gives the other coach a gut check, right? After halftime, Belichick does his little changes, and now that other coach is doing a Belichick as opposed to a gut check. A Belichick.
And so
Hashtag that too. Hashtag Belichick. Doesn't matter how Belichick this goes with Belichick. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect.
dog masks, cool if you win, but if you lose, will it be a small village overseas wearing Eagles Super Bowl jerseys and dog masks?
Once you lose, everybody knows all the loser gear goes overseas to help these countries.
That's true.
There's gonna be a bunch of people wearing Philadelphia Eagles and those dog masks if they lose. So when you introduce something like that to the equation, you have to be ready if you lose to see those masks laying around. You know, they're going to be laying around somewhere.
And last one, JB, I've got about 30 seconds. Halftime show, they missed a huge opportunity. What opportunity?
Prince hologram. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
The Prince hologram should have been here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, don't ever tell anybody.
Yep.
Just let the Prince hologram walk out. Just like the little afro, everything, the glasses, the long coat. Just walk on stage, how Prince would walk on stage. This is like that. And then the crowd will go crazy. This is Minneapolis, baby. Come
Go
on.
crazy.
A hologram.
Yeah.
It's Minneapolis.
A hologram
The
formerly known as
hologram.
Prince.
Where's the hologram? Where's the Prince hologram, man?
Prince, our number 1 seed, advancing in the Mall of America region, the greatest Minnesota icon ever. Vote Kevin McHale versus Judy Garland, by the way. We're doing a little bracketology on that.
Okay.
F. Scott Fitzgerald beat Jack Morris and Paul Molitor to advance to take on Bob Dylan or Lindsey Vonn. What's Kurt's look to me right now? I can't even look at him right now.
He doesn't really understand what's happening.
You got 3 hours to fill every day.
I want to thank you, Kurt. Thank you, JB, for everything.
Hey, thank you, my friend.
I also
4
wanna
years in a
thank-
row.
I also want to thank Alex Smith, Steve Smith Sr., and Brian Billick on tomorrow's show. DeMarcus Ware, Greg Olson, Jerome Bettis, Travis Kelsey, Cam Jordan, and Willie McGinnis on Thursday. Terrell Davis, Luke Kuechly, Emmett Smith, Deion Sanders, Tony Dungy, LaDainian Tomlinson, Jim Kelly, and Aaron Rodgers. That's how we're rolling the next 2 days. Join us on Wednesday's show from Minneapolis.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.